The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed Studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene here on a Tuesday morning. And we roll on with our coverage of the NFL season. Week 2 is now in the books, Monday Night Football. I'd say it was a success for the Green Bay Packers.
It went exactly how I told you it was going to go.
Yeah, not necessarily avenging the loss last week against the New Orleans Saints, because I don't know that you can fully recover from a game like that, from a beating like that, going up against one of the worst teams in the NFL. But 35-17, they rallied back after a 17-14 deficit at the half, and it was all Green Bay in the second half.
Their defense sucks.
Yeah,
their defense sucks. Awful.
Yeah, they have some problems on the defensive end. But they had problems on the defensive end last year.
Not like this.
And I get
this is different. They can't stop anybody.
Right. They weren't one of the best teams against the run last year anyway. So they didn't make any moves in the offseason to address that fact. And their secondary is still suspect at times.
Kevin King. You said Kevin King.
I did.
He is fucking awful. How in the hell do you still have a job in this league?
Mm-hmm. Well, he is. Eric Stokes played really well last night.
Yeah, he should be the second starter.
He made some big plays. I was really impressed with the rookie from Georgia, but 35-17, Aaron Jones scoring 4 total touchdowns.
Yeah, and by the way, you said they weren't great defensively last year?
Yeah.
They were 9th in the fucking league in total defense.
Against the run?
Total defense.
Total defense. I think the run game, I think they got sliced up a couple of times in the run game. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
They were 11th.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't that bad.
No. They missed Mike Pettin a lot. We tried to figure out for a week what's up with Green Bay. I figured it out. Joe Barry is a dumb shit. Mm-hmm. You're asking, and I watch teams do this all the time. Coordinator leaves, and now, I got to put my own imprint on the defense. No, you don't. Play to the players that you have. Mm-hmm. You do not have a great secondary. Stop putting Kevin King out on an island to let every receiver, including a kid who the only time I've ever seen him in the league was as a punt returner, was just beating him like a kettle drum. The only problem is that Jared Goff can't routinely get anybody the ball.
No, and he had 2 pretty big blown plays there in that second half trying to get him back into the game. The 4th and 1 that they had, and he threw one about 100 miles an hour on an out route. It was just too hard of a throw. Not the kind of throw that you make to get that conversion. And then the next possession, he fumbled the ball.
And I feel like I have to say this because Matt LaFleur can't figure it out. Run the damn ball! God, Aaron Jones is infuriating to me. He's so freaking good, mm-hmm. and they have so many weeks where they just go, nope. No, sir. You shall get 8 touches today.
Well, how many more carries did you? I mean, he had 17 carries in the game. He had
no. I'm talking about last week where he had 5.
Okay. Yeah.
And what's bad is now that you got Peyton and Eli doing whatever the fuck that is.
Oh, God.
They just call you out on it. Like, they're running too high. Man on every play. Yep. You should run 1 billion times, which is what I have said for years, mm-hmm. because teams do that to Aaron Rodgers all the time, mm-hmm. because they're scared to death he's going to beat them deep, so you always have 2 safeties deep.
Yep.
If Aaron Rodgers sees single high, he could lift the table without touching it.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to go one way or the other there, Puddin' Pants.
Pretty much every damn play they had double coverage on Devontae Adams, which is, and it's exactly how I would do it, to just try to limit the exposure. The problem is, on the underneath stuff, you got killed. Aaron Jones got 3 touchdowns, 6 catches, 48 receiving yards, and he had 17 carries for 67 yards. 4 total touchdowns is a hell of a day.
I am beating the same drum that Matthew Berry has been beating for years.
Okay.
Free Aaron Jones. For the love of God, let the man run the damn ball.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers, of course, throwing 4 touchdown passes. The other touchdown pass went to Robert Tonyan, which helped me out in a couple of fantasy leagues, so thank you very much for that.
I'm a big fan of the Bloomin' Tonyan.
Not very many positives for the Detroit side.
I disagree with you. I think there was a lot.
You think there were a lot of positives in this?
You led Green Bay at halftime in their building.
Okay.
That's the best you could expect. When your leading receivers were, outside of T.J. Hawkinson, were Quintez Cephas, Khalif Raymond, who is the punt returner I was talking about, Jason Kabenda, and something called a Trinity Benson. I think a Trinity Benson is an appetizer you get in a Creole restaurant. I think I've had the Trinity Benson before. It's very lovely.
I thought you were going to say Trinity Benson gave you a lap dance one time.
That might also happen at Magic City in Atlanta while I was eating chicken wings.
Now on the stage, Trinity!
You don't have a future as a PA announcer in a strip club.
No.
Now, me, on the other hand, I have that strip club announcer voice. I mean, in West Virginia or Alabama, that's the only 2 states that I'm allowed to do that in. But
in those bars where you get more scars than you do.
Yeah, a good place to get a beer and a scar.
Yeah.
Take your gas cap, get in free. Woo!
I mean, T.J. Hawkinson had a fine game. Detroit's going to struggle with moving the ball down the field. I mean, you've seen it in the last 2 games. They put a lot of emphasis on throwing the ball to their running backs. And Deandre Swift had a good game. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was.
I don't know if I'd call it good.
Well, I mean, he had what, 4
78
catches?
total yards in a PPR league.
Is that all he had?
Yeah, he had 78 total yards. He only carried the ball 8 times.
Yeah.
By the way, leading rusher for the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff. That is not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Because in a foot race, I think Jared Goff would lose to me.
Right. But he caught 4 passes for like 46 yards. It was very pedestrian performance.
The Lions are just not good, but
they're not
but they play hard.
They do play hard. Play hard, chew some kneecaps. And I think, as I said yesterday on the show, they will be close in all of their 14 losses. 35-17, your final score from Monday Night Football. So wait, you don't like the Manning broadcast? Is that what you're saying?
I hate the
That's
Zoom
a lot of
thing.
derision.
I hate the Zoom thing. Look, we bring in Rob Gronkowski, and he sounds like he's talking through a muffled, wet washer. And then he brings in his dog. Like, hey, look, it's my dog. Yeah. I don't care about your stupid dog.
It's Gronk. Of course he's going to be stupid.
I just don't care. I could listen to Peyton Manning talk about football all day.
Yeah.
Eli contributes 0. I would rather they had Cooper in there. At least Cooper's funny.
Right.
Eli sounds like he's on a Zoom call with a horrible lag. Because he doesn't speak for minutes at a time. My wife looked at me last night and said, does Peyton Manning ever shut up? Well, there's only one other person on the screen, and it's Eli Manning.
Right, because Peyton does this thing where he will stop, and then nobody will say anything, and he'll go, well, I guess I just have to keep on talking. He did that several times last night when they had Brett Favre on. It's like Eli knows he is the lesser of the people in the conversation, and so he just sits back and goes, I'm going to throw something in here. I'm going to throw it to break. You guys talk, and I'll throw it to break.
I will say I am steadfastly on I want to do one of these with Pat McAfee. I want to do a vulgar version of this on Thursday Night Football with Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Because I seriously think that would be some of the funniest shit you've ever heard in your life.
I don't think he could do that. Isn't that when he's on wrestling?
That's Friday.
Oh, Friday nights. That's right, Friday night. SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt his fictitious fighting job, but I would really, really like to get on air. Just we'll call it the West Virginia Show. Chris D, we're like an AA meeting for sports.
Hey,
Welcome,
Chris.
D. He said going to try trading Robert Woods and Elijah Mitchell or Mike Davis for Cooper Kupp. I will forewarn you, Robert Woods is going to be really good in that offense. And don't tap out on Mike Davis yet. The Falcons' schedule leans out. Now, Elijah Mitchell, you want to fire that away? Hell yeah. Somebody will accept that? Do it. I'd be very weary of trading for Cooper Kupp on the high side. This is probably the worst week 2 trade for Cooper Kupp after he just went ballistic against the Colts.
Yeah.
And I like him. I just think that he's probably had his best game of the season.
And coming from a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I suggest you hold on to Robert Woods for this week.
Adam Black said Barstool in. I'll do it with Dave Portnoy too. I'll do it with the other mulleted guy whose name I don't know. Yeah. I don't care. I want to do this a lot. And I need somebody that has an NFL contract because I don't.
Right.
I need somebody that lets me use the video because I want to illustrate things. Give me a pen and let me draw wieners. That's all I'm after.
Pat McAfee was really good last night. He told the
Pat McAfee's always good.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Pretty much everything he does, he's good in. But I love that he told the he told the casino story to a wider audience. If you haven't heard that story, it's fantastic. Where he's in a casino as a rookie, and Peyton Manning walks in the room, and he's at the roulette table putting chips down, and Peyton comes over and says, "How about that red 18?" And then walks out the door. Everybody at the table puts their chips on red 18, and no shit, red 18 hits. And Pat McAfee says, "That's when I knew that Peyton Manning is a god, and I will do anything this man says." But I did love Peyton's retort. "I've tried that 30 more times, and it never worked." I love everything about the Mannings broadcast.
I just wish they would put somebody that was even just even half-assed with him.
Right.
Because Eli is, oh my God, he is brutal. Peyton will wax poetic about the defense, and Eli will chime in with, "Hey, you remember when I beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? You remember when I did it again? Okay, I'm done now." I've watched that shit 2 separate times. I wish he would just wear a shirt that says, "I beat Tom Brady twice."
The fact that he has as many Super Bowls as his brother, you know that bothers Peyton to some level.
Yeah, because he's
there's no way. As infinitely better than he was that I was. I got two, and he got 2. Not fair. I liked it last night. It just brought me back to earth on the Green Bay Packers. When you were tilting toward, good God, this might be horrible, Aaron Rodgers
went, "Hey, y'all, watch this."
Right. He took care of business. It wasn't great weather, and they still were able to dominate. I like that fact about the game. And that leads us into our Week 3 power rankings in the NFL.
I've already heard about 6 teams that people are like, "I want to see where they are." So far, the tally is 4 of you are going to be very happy, and 2 of you are going to be nominally pissed off.
Just how much did that Monday night performance sway things on the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions? Let's find out. Week 3 power rankings, starting from the bottom, now we're here.
Pow! Oh, no, we suck again.
Yeah.
It was delayed.
The New York Jets. You have moved your Jets now to the worst team in the NFL.
You can't play that poorly and not be the worst team in the league.
After the 4 interception
Do I think they're the worst team in the league? No.
Yeah.
Do I think Zach Wilson needs an exorcism? Yes, I do.
He possibly does. It was not a banner week by any stretch. It's a week that he will have to forget in his NFL career, throwing for 4 interceptions. As you have said, though, there are positives about your team.
The defense is very, very good.
To me, there's no way that they're the worst team in the NFL.
I don't disagree with you. Okay. For this week, you throw 4 picks in the first half, sorry about your fucking luck. You're 32. JETS, just end this shit.
Now, on my power rankings, I got you at 31. You're the next worst team. But I don't think you could do anything. Even a horrid performance from Zach Wilson is not going to sway me off of the Jacksonville Jaguars are awful.
The bottom 4 teams here are just dog shit.
Yeah. New York Jets at 32, the Atlanta Falcons at 31, Jacksonville Jaguars at 30, Detroit Lions at 29. Oh, we have all the same bottom 5 teams, just kind of in a jumbled up order.
Well, here's the thing. I don't buy the Houston Texans for shit.
Yeah.
However, they did just play straight up with the Browns on their home field until Tyrod Taylor got hurt.
Yes, they did.
So, there has to be some credit to that. If you told me right now, Adam Black's already shaking his head that I had the Panthers at 14. Who the fuck do you want me to? What do you want from me? Who in in the hell do you want them to be in
They're
front of?
They're number 5 on Keyshawn Johnson's top
Keyshawn
5.
Johnson didn't have the Bills in the top 10, so that should have invalidated that immediately.
Indeed.
I love his response to shit, too. It's Keyshawn Johnson's top 10. Because Jay Williams asked him, where the fuck is Buffalo? He said, it's Keyshawn Johnson's top 10. And I went, see, this is why I want to do a show with Keyshawn, so I can look at him and go, oh, so it's stupid. Okay, moving on.
This ain't Jay Will's top 10. It's my top 10.
And by the way, I'll be honest with you, Carolina's a team that, I mean, we'll get to them in a little bit. They're a team that's very mobile. I would like to see, I don't know what to do with New Orleans, and I know the Jets are bad. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to learn much this week because you're beating the Texans and you're going to beat them to death because Davis Mills is going to be the quarterback.
Yep.
So I want to see Carolina against a Tampa, against a team that I know is good. One of the NFC West teams. Mm-hmm. I just want to see it. Plus, you play 2 games at home. Invariably, just look at the teams in front of them. I'm not trying to jump ahead here, but we are in a Carolina market. So just look at the teams directly ahead of them. Pittsburgh won a game in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. One of the best teams in the league. Tennessee Titans won a game in Seattle. Not a team that I buy, but a very tough place to play. Cleveland Browns. I can't have you ahead of Cleveland. Mm-hmm. I can't. They're just so freaking good. Green Bay, if you're down on Green Bay, good luck with that. I get Aaron Rodgers. So
right.
Dallas, that offense is just ridiculously good, and the defense is getting better. Mm-hmm. And the Raiders have the best resume in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's not a slight at Carolina.
This Thursday night, they play the Houston Texans. Mm-hmm. Week 4, they are at the Dallas Cowboys.
And that's the one.
That's the game that will prove it to you.
And that's the one.
And I'm going to have it. I'm going to have the Panthers in that game.
That's a week ahead, so I can't tell you.
I mean, you know, granted, if they don't struggle with the Houston Texans, and by struggle, I mean, you know, they don't win by more than 14 points.
See, none of those things matter to me. I don't really care how much you win by. I care that you win. Like Cleveland struggling with Houston, that didn't make me look at Houston and go, oh, they're so much better.
No, it made me look at Cleveland and go, maybe they're not as good as I thought they were.
I've tried to tell you that for a long time. So,
I'm just saying, you're going to find out how good the Carolina Panthers are next week.
Agreed.
So number 27 on my power rankings is the Houston Texans. I think that they have shown enough that they're not in that we're god-awful tier, but they're on the cusp of we could be terrible, but they've been competitive so far. They have that kind of replacements feel to me of just all of these cast-offs that you've pulled together, and I made the analogy of the Cleveland Indians from the Major League movie. Like, David Culley can go in that locker room and be like, everybody thinks you're bullshit. Let's go out here and give them a great big shit burger to eat.
All right, here's facts don't care about your feelings.
Yep.
The next game that they could win, best game they could possibly play, is 3 days after Thanksgiving. That's the next game they could win against my dog shit New York Jets, who I think are going to get better with time.
Right.
I mean, in order, they play the Panthers, at the Bills, the Patriots, the Colts, Cardinals, Rams, Dolphins, Titans. Good luck. You will be a double-digit dog in every one of those games. And you should be.
Yeah.
So that's a team that's going to regress a lot.
They will regress, but for right now, I think they have earned to be at the top of the poo tier in the power rankings.
And that's where they are for me. They have shown the best of the dregs of the league.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. The Philadelphia Eagles have shown the best of the dregs of the league, but we'll get to them in a minute.
The Cincinnati Bengals need to be the next team on this list. Ooh, you got the Minnesota Vikings.
They're bad. They're bad. I know
but
exactly
they can score offensively.
You couldn't stop a fucking
You think
nosebleed.
head-to-head they would be the Cincinnati Bengals would beat them?
I think Joe Burrow would throw for 400 yards on them. Is what I think. I think there's a possibility that Kirk Cousins might accidentally fumble and piss in his pants, and I don't think they will stop a team all year long. I have By the way, did you just ask me if the Bengals would beat the Vikings?
Yes.
You do know we just did that, right? Like a week ago. And they did beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bengals would beat the Vikings routinely. It took me a minute to.
I don't think they would.
Well, they've already done it once.
Well, I get they've already done it once, but I still don't believe that that's a better team.
Cincinnati and Philadelphia are two teams that play. They have a good side of the ball that makes them better than the Bears, who are dog shit on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings, who, yes, they can put up points, they can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I have Cincinnati at 24. I have
Cincinnati's at 24, Chicago at 25, and the Minnesota Vikings at 26. The problems with the Chicago Bears are just, they're bad. They're bad. Their secondary is bad.
You painted yourself
Their
into the same corner
bad.
that I told you you painted yourself into.
Yeah. Number 23, the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, they'll try to.
Hold on. You gleaned over a whole shitload of teams here.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You said their name. We didn't talk about them. The Bears are in trouble aggressively.
Yeah.
Because you don't do anything well. And Justin Fields scares me. Justin Fields scares me for his own health. He can't protect himself. It's all the things I tried to tell you in the pre-draft process, and now he's been thrown in the lineup because it doesn't look like Andy Dalton's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have Justin Fields, who hasn't been taking first-team reps, coming in not cold because you did play but you play the Browns. Good luck with that. Myles Garrett might look like a Doberman on a T-bone by the time by the third quarter of this game.
Right.
Cincinnati. It's going to be fun while it lasts. Cincinnati's going to be 4-2.
Are they?
I firmly believe that. Now they lost to the Bears, which hurts that, but they're not going to be 4-2. They're going to be 3-3, and then they'll be 4-4. And then they'll be 4-13 because the back end of their schedule is brutal.
So they beat Minnesota, lose to Chicago. They're going to get stomped by Pittsburgh this week. And then they get Jacksonville and Detroit. Those are the wins you're looking
Jacksonville, Detroit, and the Jets.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not sure they can beat the Jets, but they probably can because the Jets can't score. God, I'm tired of having a team that can't score fucking points.
Yeah, no, I just I can't get there with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Evan Doyle said, I would like to say I have not had a good time. You're better than we thought you were. Not by much, but you're better than we thought you were.
Oh, is he a Bengals fan?
Yes.
Nice.
He's a realistic Bengals fan, which I greatly appreciate.
That's right. All right. Who you got next in the
23 is the Philadelphia Eagles. You're going to tell me I'm out of my mind having them that high?
Having them that high?
Well, they're not good. And this team's not good.
Uh-huh.
Well, you think I have them too low?
Yeah.
Are you drunk? Did you get high before the show? You tell me where the win comes in. This is until Halloween.
All right.
At the Cowboys, the Chiefs, at the Panthers, the Buccaneers, at the Raiders. They will get run off the field in 3 of those games. Then you get the Lions. That's fun. Chargers, Broncos, Saints. Where's the win? This team's going to win 6 games. That's it.
I mean, I don't have them much higher than you.
Okay, you look at the list and tell me who's in front of them that should be behind them. I'll wait. The Miami Dolphins are the team. You're out of your fucking gourd. Miami would beat them to death.
That team that just
Xavier Howard and
Buffalo.
Byron Jones against Jalen Hurts. Do I need to say anything else? Jalen Hurts would get picked off 7 times in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no way in hell I'm putting the Dolphins or the Washington football team behind them.
Indianapolis. I
Indianapolis.
look at Indianapolis and I go, I don't know what you are.
What is the one thing Philadelphia can half-ass do?
Run the ball.
Run. What does Indianapolis do better than any team in the league except yours?
Stop the run.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts throws it 40 times and 6 of them go to guys wearing blue jerseys. Facts don't care about your feelings. That's where the Eagles belong, and I might be too high.
Okay.
If anything, I'm too high. The defense is good. Let's be really honest.
I mean, they're my 22, so, I mean, it's not like we're very far off.
The Eagles are a really low-floor version of the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. Your defense is good, and your quarterback just does not do shit for me.
Right. The Miami Dolphins, you got them at 22.
I laugh at how much people have just jumped off the ship on them.
I mean, what is there to be hopeful about?
I'm right where I was. I think I moved Miami down 2 spots.
Yeah.
I look at Miami and New England exactly the same. If you can get into defensive struggles, you have a shot. Mm-hmm. You cannot hang with teams that can shoot out with you.
Right.
And the Buffalo Bills are one of those teams.
I agree with you. They're my 24. I do have them below the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's not right. The Dolphins have some winnable games. I mean, they're going to get shellacked this week. Mm-hmm. They could beat the Colts. They could beat the Jaguars. They could beat the Falcons, the Texans, the Jets, the Giants, the Jets again, the Patriots again. I mean, do you know how many wins that puts them at? It's 9-8. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia ain't winning 9 games. I can tell you that much for fucking short.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
I'll bet you my cack that Philadelphia doesn't win 9 games.
I don't doubt that. After the week that I just saw the Miami Dolphins have, though, I'm out on them, and I think I think it's a bad situation. I think they're in a bad place right now with the Tua situation. Now, obviously, if today was a good day, I'd feel markedly different about the Miami Dolphins. But until that day comes, I'm out. They are one of my big disappointments so far of 2 weeks into the season. Because I had such high hopes for them.
At 1-1.
Yeah.
Your big disappointment is that their starting quarterback got as bad as they looked. They beat New England the week before.
Who's not anything to write home about.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay. I mean, they did everything they could to give that game away.
There are a lot of big disappointments. I don't know that I would consider the Dolphins to be one. Because you were right there with me on them.
Mm-hmm. But that was all predicated on my belief that we were going to see a different Tua, that we were going to see a more comfortable Tua, that we weren't going to see, Tua be injured. The fact that he's injured now, I don't like this team any better with Jacoby Brissett.
I don't like it any worse.
Okay. All right. Will Fuller coming back, maybe that makes a big difference for them. But for right now, they're in my doghouse, so to speak. The Washington football team at 21, another disappointment.
Another thing they're right exactly where I thought they were.
They got big problems. They don't have the quarterback. They don't seem to be able to score the points. Their defense doesn't look as good as it should be. To me, it's a big disappointment. We're 2 weeks into the season. I'm not saying, just crumple it up and tank and try to get the number 1 pick or anything. All I'm saying is they just don't look good to me.
The defense will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be 7-10, 8-9, somewhere in there. I think of them exactly what I did before.
Okay. You got the New England Patriots at 20.
I think of them exactly what I did before. New England has a hell of a... There is a hell of a reckoning for Bill Belichick coming.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Saints this week. I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm going to like the Saints this week.
Yeah.
Then you get the Bucks. Oh, that's not going to go well. And Tom's going to break the passing yard record in Foxborough. Thanks, whoever created the schedule. That's awful sweet of you.
That's going to be so great.
Catch the Texans, but then you go Cowboys. These are the Jets again. Chargers, Panthers, Browns. Ugh. New England's going to be in that 7-10, 8-9 spot again. Mm-hmm. And can we stop on Mack Jones for the love of all that's good and holy?
Oh, come on.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year. Yeah, if he got to play the Jets 17 times.
Mack Jones is he's been the best of the rookie quarterbacks so far.
Which is kind of like saying he's the cleanest hooker.
Exactly.
It's not a whole lot of competition there.
But it was highly predictable. I mean, we talked about Mack Jones a lot in the run-up to this NFL draft, and more often than not, we came around to the conclusion that he's going to be fine in the NFL. He's got a massively low ceiling but a high floor.
He's really high upside Colt McCoy.
Yeah, he's the most NFL-ready quarterback of all the ones that came out. And I heard that a lot in the draft process.
Yeah, and I never agreed with it.
Well, it's kind of bearing itself out.
No, he's
not
on the
making the
best team.
mistakes.
He was the lowest one drafted. He has the best shit around him by a lot. That doesn't change. That's a comical take to me. He's the most pro-ready. No, he's on the only one that's not on a team that sucks, except Trey Lance, who's not playing.
Who doesn't play?
I mean, the Jets and the Jaguars are two of the 3 worst teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears are really fucking close.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean he's. Rob Johnson said, "Who does that mean you think will win Rookie of the Year?" I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud.
Okay,
Jamar Chase, because he's going to put up flashy numbers because he's going to wind up in the end zone a lot.
Yeah,
because the Bengals offense is good at the end of the day. The defense sucks, and he's going to be a lot of shootouts, so he'll put up gaudy numbers. Mm-hmm. And they gypped Justin Jefferson last year, so make up.
Yep, could be Jamar. I would probably say maybe Najee Harris if things turn around for Pittsburgh.
They're going to turn around precipitously, and you play a lot of good defenses.
I agree, but I think I would look at him right now as a real threat to that. Because I don't think it's going to be one of the quarterbacks. I don't think any of the quarterbacks are going to be good enough to win Rookie of the Year. Maybe it is Mack Jones, because he does look like the best of the bunch right now, just because he's not making all the mistakes. But they're not putting him in that position to make all of the mistakes. So New England is number 20. Who's at 19?
The Indianapolis Colts. Mm-hmm. I just don't think this team's record is going to be worse than they are. They very easily could have beaten the Rams. They're going to have a lot of games like that. The bad thing is the schedule just does them absolutely no favors.
Yeah, they have definitely started out with 2 of the toughest games of anybody in the league with the Seattle Seahawks in week 1. And then they had the Rams. They get the Tennessee Titans this week. They go at Miami, at Baltimore. You get Houston in there, then you got to go to San Francisco, then you play Tennessee again. It's just a lot of back and forth.
Don't get a lot. You get 3 layups all year.
Yeah,
and that's not a good sign for a team that has so much flux at quarterback.
Right.
Carson Wentz is constantly hurt. He's the first person I've ever seen sprain both ankles at the same time.
Like he jumped out of a balcony.
I think
something.
a 90-year-old man could get hit and would not sprain both ankles at the same time.
Carson Wentz with 2 sprained ankles from this past week's game against the Rams. And it's the fact that he's always hurt. I mean, if they've got to roll with Jacob Eason, it's going to be god-awful. I mean, the first time he came into the game for Carson Wentz, he threw an interception. It's going to be as bad as you expected it to be if they have to roll with Jacob Eason. So I have no faith in the Indianapolis Colts whatsoever. They are right there in that 20 range for me as well. Number 18.
The Denver Broncos.
That's exactly where I have them right now.
A lot of people will say, oh, you're too low on Denver. No. They've beaten
cupcakes.
2 cheaty teams. And they're about to beat a 3rd cheaty team. And then they don't play another cheaty team for quite some time.
Until they get to play Philadelphia in week 10.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
Denver's just one of those teams. Denver and New England are very similar to me.
And if you're
Denver has a better defense, I think New England probably has a more talented quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater cannot keep playing like this. He's just not this quarterback. We've seen it. So, and I'm sure people will say I'm too low on the Broncos. That's if you told me right now they played the New Orleans Saints on a neutral field, I think New Orleans would beat the piss out of them. Because I don't think Denver could score on them, and I think the Saints would score on Denver.
I'd agree. We are in lockstep with 17 and 18, the Saints and the Broncos. Look, you're going to get mediocre performances, or you're going to get great performances, you're going to get bad performances from Jameis Winston. That's just what comes with Jameis Winston. It was a fool's errand for us to believe that Sean Payton has completely changed him. And this past week, you saw the bad Jameis Winston come out against the Carolina Panthers. He's going to have these up and down, boom or bust weeks, and the Saints will go as he goes.
New Orleans is the hardest team for me to figure out in the NFL because I can't get away from what I thought going into the year that this team is so damn thin. And I can't get away from the fact of I really don't think you're better than but one team in your own division. Mm-hmm. And then I look at there's so many buts with the Saints. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Wells said my concept of winning shifts like sand. # Jets fan. No. Winning is all that matters, but it 100% matters who you beat. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, let's find one because I know there is one. I'll be really honest with you. The Colts are 0-2. The Broncos are 2-0. If you told me they played on a neutral field, I'm not sure that I wouldn't like Indianapolis. If Carson Wentz was healthy, I know it would.
Yeah.
If you could somehow guarantee me he plays 4 quarters, which nobody ever could because he's Fabergé egg soft. Mm-hmm.
I'm not following you down that path because I think Denver is the better team between those two.
Wait till you see Bad Teddy.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers fans will vouch for this. Bad Teddy is a thing.
Mm-hmm. We get it. I mean, he's completed 77% of his passes so far this year. It's way above normal for him. But, I mean, he did complete 70% of his passes last year in Carolina. So it's not too unbelievable that when he plays 2 shitty teams to start out the season and he's getting ready to take on the New York Jets, hell, he might be at 84% completion by the time the week 3 is over.
All right, so
he's going to have the bad game.
I have to respond to something. Kelvin Joyner just said I'm too low on Teddy. All right, do me a favor. Here's my problem with Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay.
I want you to introspectively be real honest about what I'm getting ready to say. They play the Jets this week. In succession, they play Lamar Jackson, Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield. Then you get Taylor Heineke, Dak Prescott, and you get Jalen Hurts. Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Derek Carr again, Justin Herbert again, Pat Mahomes again. How many of those is he not the lesser quarterback?
None.
It's 2. It's Jalen Hurts, and it's Taylor. Don't call me Heineke.
I didn't think you counted those because you weren't counting them.
No. I mean, of the ones that.
That's what of every game. I'm agreeing with you because I'm not counting those games. Of the quarterbacks that you said out loud, not under your breath, of course he's not the better quarterback in those matchups.
And people will get captivated by but the defense is so good. Is it, though?
They are.
Is it, though?
They are. I would say so.
I don't know that I agree with you.
Oh. Why?
Good offense in this league beats good defense 100 times out of 100. Fact or fiction? Kansas City has been god-awful defensively for 3 years. They've been the best team in the fucking league.
Yeah.
Okay. You catch 7 of the 10 best offenses in the league. So guess what? That defense is not going to hold up against that. Mm-hmm. And then and see, the problem with that is that now you ask Teddy Bridgewater to do things that he can't do. Pat Mahomes comes out and hangs 2 touchdowns on you. You think you're just going to keep turning around, hand the ball over to Melvin Gordon?
No.
Nope. You're going to go Teddy 2 gloves, throws 40 times, and that leads to 2 interceptions. You put them in bad position, and now the defense looks like shit.
Yes.
Not saying they're not talented. I'm saying that football is a team game, and you got to take all the factors into one great big pie.
Right.
But the Indianapolis Colts defense is pretty damn good.
Right. But this is why they're not any higher than they are. They are middle of the road. You know, they don't have the explosiveness offensively, and their defense is going to carry them most of the way. No, I don't think we're too off on the Denver Broncos. We have them exactly ranked in the same spot.
Rob Johnson said the top scoring offense of all time never won a Super Bowl. It's a different league now for one. Hey, let's play a fun game. Mm-hmm. You keep talking.
Look, I've been a big Teddy apologist. I was one of the ones that said, you know what? If the deal's not there to make, don't make a deal. Carolina Panthers, hang on to Teddy Bridgewater. He'll be fine till you find the next guy. Now, I wasn't foreseeing the Sam Darnold deal. I like that a lot better. You chose correctly, in my opinion. You chose correctly over, Sam Darnold due to his age and his high ceiling over Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater was, he's fine. he doesn't make Denver super good.
Let's play a fun game. Top 5 total defenses last year. Rams, Washington football team, Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints, San Francisco 49ers. How many of those teams wound up in either conference's championship game? 0. Total offense. Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers. How many of those teams wound up in the championship in their conference championship game? 3 of them. And by the way, Tampa was 7. Good offense will beat good defense in the current setup of the league 100 times out of 100. 3 best teams in the NFL defensively. Who are they?
I'd say the Rams, the Bucks, and the
Washington football team. Talent-wise. I'm talking about talent. I'm not take the scheme out and shit like that.
Okay.
You look at just talent. Who are the 3 most talented defensive teams?
Okay, yeah, I'd say Washington's.
There you go. One of those teams is not going to make the playoffs, and the other 2 have Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford.
Right.
I mean, do I love it? No. I'm an old school defensive guy. I love Rex Ryan more than damn near any coach that's ever coached any of my teams in any sport. But it's the way the league goes.
Yeah.
If you can't hang with these teams that can just blister your ass.
Yeah. You have to have the offense to go with the defense, and that's the problem that they have. You know, that's the problem that Denver has. Jerry Jeudy's hurt as well, so that kind of knocks them down on the power rankings to me as well. The LA Chargers at number 16, they're right in the middle. They're going to do some things that you go, yeah. And then they're going to do some things like this past week against Dallas and make you go, well, that needs work.
Hold on. Adam Blake said sample size is too small. All right, let's go back a year before that. Dallas Cowboys, top 6 in total offense. Dallas Cowboys, Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Francisco 49ers, Atlanta Falcons, Kansas City Chiefs. 2 of them in your conference championship game. Total defense. New England Patriots, San Francisco 49ers, who were also on the other list. Buffalo Bills, Ravens, Steelers. You have 1, and they were on the other list too. I keep doing this. The last 5 years, since probably the Joe Flacco, Colin Kaepernick Super Bowl, that's where this shifted.
Okay.
And now you can just do this year after year, and it's getting worse. You used to have like an aberration here and there of a San Francisco team who's so fucking good defensively that it kind of sways it kind of moves the number on the offense because they put up a lot of points because they're in good position all the time.
Yep.
At this point, I would much rather be good offensively than good defensively.
Right. Now, is that saying that a team can't make big defensive plays and win a game because of their defense? I think the last Super Bowl showed us that.
Although we got a new one. Nicholas Gonzalez. We're like an AA meeting for sports. Hi,
Welcome, Nicholas.
He said the Browns' defense on paper should be good, but it's the Browns. As I love to say routinely, in January, they will be at home with Baker Mayfield.
Right.
That is my favorite marketing campaign in the history of time, and it wasn't supposed to be funny. But to me, it's real funny. And he blocked me on Twitter, so fuck him.
Right. The Chargers have had their problems. They're a new team with a young team with a new coach. They're gonna have to figure out, the communication, the rhythm, all of that stuff. The penalties have to get taken care of. They're gonna have an explosive offense, no doubt, because they have superstars in the wide receiver core, and they have a young quarterback that proved to us last year that he is the quarterback out of that class, in my opinion. Now, I can't put them any higher than they are right now because they can have good weeks and they can have not so good weeks. Plus, we don't know what Washington is yet, and the fact that game was so close and kind of handed to the Chargers, they very well could be 0-2. So I couldn't put them any higher than dead smack in the middle of the league right now on my power rankings. At number 15, the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't know what to do with this team.
Our rankings are so shockingly similar, and we didn't
never talked about it beforehand.
We didn't look at each other's because we are in lockstep with like the last 17.
I just don't know how you can look at Seattle and go, Russ is going to be able to throw for 400 yards a week every week.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's what he's going to have to do. Because the defense is absolutely fucking putrid.
Yep. it was kind of I'm not going to say shock, but I thought that they would pull off the win against Tennessee this past week, and they really should have. I mean, they had a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter or third quarter,
and you gave up 500 and some odd yards offensively.
And thankfully for the Seattle Seahawks, they don't have to face Derrick Henry again.
Unfortunately for them, they play. Let's see. Let me look at my list of teams in the top 10. I think they play 6 of them. And 3 of them are in your own division, so you play them all twice.
Yeah.
I just don't like how that sets up for them. I understand how good Russell Wilson is. I know people see it and go, oh, but Russ is going to cook. I don't dispute that. What I do dispute is that you're going to get into shootouts with Matthew Stafford, and he has Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and you have Jamal Adams.
Yes.
But he's such a good blitzer, and he's a liability in coverage the vast majority of the time. Just the way it is. Offensive league, and your defense sucks.
The Carolina Panthers at number 14. We've talked about this team so much being in the Carolina market. We love the defense. It's young. It's going to get after people. They've already proven in the first 2 weeks that they can do that. It's just, how good is their good? That's the question. Sam Darnold has looked really good in his first 2 starts. Granted, the really got tacked on to it after the game this past weekend with the Saints. I think the Carolina Panthers have a very real possibility of climbing this list higher, but right now I'm not willing to put them over the teams that I have directly in front of them.
Carolina?
Yeah.
I want to see you beat a team that I know is good. That's my biggest takeaway with Carolina. And look, some people say 14's a slight. You tell me who in the hell I should have them in front of.
Can you put them over the Tennessee Titans?
I can't put you over the Titans when they just went to Seattle. My takeaway is supposed to be, they got shellacked by Arizona. Arizona's my 6. Or 7. 7. My 7.
7.
I'm not going to hold that against you.
No.
Pittsburgh got beat at home by the Raiders, and they were decimated by injury. You also went into Buffalo and beat Buffalo, and they're my 4.
I think everybody is just looking at the New Orleans Saints going, look what they did to the Packers in week 1.
And Kevin Vick, and I knew somebody was going to say this.
Yep.
Kevin Vick said, we beat a team who destroyed the 10th place team. I do not disagree with you. I also think it was an aberration.
I agree.
Because that team went in and struggled against Detroit for a half last night. The transitive property, for whatever reason, is not working in the NFL. And it's never been a fail-safe. Worked way better in college than it does in the NFL. But Adam Black is really trying to beleaguer this point of I have to say this out loud. So your justification for how important defense is are 3 teams that were quarterbacked by Tom Brady, 1 that was quarterbacked by Peyton Manning, and 1 that was quarterbacked by Russell Wilson. Please tell me you see the irony in that. If Nick Foles was the quarterback of those 5 teams, do you think that that strong defense, and you don't think that has something to do with it? You have an offense that's that good?
Yeah.
The defense is not what did it. Did it help? Absolutely. You find me a team that can't play dead in the Western on offense that's half-assed in this league, and I'll listen.
Yeah.
There's not one. You'll say Denver. Let me see them play a team that's above 26th in the NFL, and then we'll talk. And you're going to see that in pretty short order because they catch the Jets this week, and then it gets ugly.
Yeah. Adam Black says he'll give you Brady, but that's it. Not Russell Wilson? You want to give us Russell Wilson?
Not Peyton Manning, greatest quarterback other than Tom Brady that ever lived.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
he was 80 by then.
Peyton Manning was not Peyton Manning.
No,
in that season.
No,
or
but
in
he took care of the ball. He was a fabulous veteran quarterback that didn't beat you.
Right.
And Russell Wilson was, Russell Wilson. That guy we were just talking about that's the reason his team is 15 instead of 25.
He says Russell Wilson wasn't who he is today.
He was pretty good from about Jump Street. Mm-hmm. Not saying he was as good as he is now.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I could make an argument that he was better back then.
I think I'd like to hear that one.
He's being asked to do too much.
Okay.
Have you noticed that all of a sudden Seattle never makes it deep in the playoffs? Because they can't do anything else. It's because they built a team around Russell Wilson, and that's it.
It's kind of because they can't defend, though.
That's what happens when you're paying. Well, I mean,
but
now
I think
it's
that
Jamal
plays
Adams,
into. I think that plays into Adams' line, though. Here is that defense absolutely matters.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
Okay.
What I said was I would much rather be really good offensively than defensively.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I said. I'm not saying defense is irrelevant. I'm saying I want you to look at the fact we've had a team in the AFC 2 years in a row that could not play dead in the Western on defense. Who beat them?
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
That's the only one. Mm-hmm. It's the only team that's beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs, and they are horrid defensively.
It's the only quarterback. Because he did it with New England 2 years before that. So, yeah, I can see where you're going down that path. Yes, defense does matter in the NFL. It just really helps to have both sides of the ball. Because, I mean, think about the Super Bowl last year. You had Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Which one of those offenses are you taking? If you said you got to pick an offense, I mean, I would take Kansas City.
Adam Black +3.
What'd he say?
He said I preached on dealing with difficult people Sunday. I'm difficult people. I'm not the most agreeable person you've ever met.
Textbook definition. You look
100%.
up difficult people in the dictionary, it's got a picture of his face next to it.
Right there.
All right, number 13, above the Carolina Panthers. Who's your 13? Mine's the Cleveland Browns.
I have Cleveland higher than you do.
You do.
My
You do
13's
because here's the
Pittsburgh.
thing. Style points matter to me.
They don't matter.
Style
for
points
shit
matter to me, and you only beat the Houston Texans by 10. If you wanted to keep your ranking, you should have dusted them the way I thought you would.
Style points don't matter in the NFL.
Okay.
That's why smart gamblers bet money lines instead of lines, because they realize the same thing that I did a long time ago. This team does not give a rat's ass if they win by a point or if they win by 40.
But I also don't like them head-to-head with anybody that I have ahead of them. I don't like them head-to-head against the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Titans, 49ers, none of those teams. This is just where Baker Mayfield and the Browns fall to me.
And I agree.
So that's what.
Trust me, you could convince me that all three teams behind them should be ahead of them.
Yeah. So I mean,
I could have Cleveland at 14. Here's the thing: they played in absolute lockstep with Kansas City. Kansas City could be 2-0, 0-2, 0-2.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have shot me in the damn least, based on watching those two games. And guess what? If they were 0-2, you know where they would be in my power rankings?
And number 3.
Number 2.
Really? Okay. You wouldn't have put the Rams up above them, the Bills?
No, because I think on a neutral field, if the Rams played that's how I do power rankings.
Yeah.
Neutral field, who am I favoring? I would favor the Chiefs against every team in the league, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And nothing is going to change that.
Okay.
Unless Pat Mahomes gets abducted by space aliens, nothing is changing that.
And I
do have the Browns too high now that I think about it.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I should have 10 because if they played Tennessee on a neutral field, I'd take Tennessee.
Yep.
If they played Pittsburgh on a neutral field, I'd take Pittsburgh.
Yep.
If they played Carolina on a neutral field, I would just run away screaming
Flip
and
a
not
coin.
bet it.
I can
Because
get
I
down with
don't
that.
want to.
I could get down with that. Absolutely. That's where I'm at with the Browns. I just can't put them above the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Tennessee Titans.
And I get it.
But let's talk about the Steelers. The first week they lose against Buffalo, and I don't know. There are some troubling things about the Pittsburgh Steelers to me, like their offensive line, the fact that they still can't run the ball, the fact that they're still allowing pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. I think it's a problem. I'm not saying it's the fatal flaw, but it could be, especially if they get an injury. I mean, just one injury on that line, and it's markedly worse than it is now. I think they're a team that's hanging by a thread.
I don't. I think you've been down on this team from Jump Street. And you're taking one loss to the Raiders as well. See, I was right. They're going to beat the Bengals to death.
Yes, they will.
On Sunday.
Yes, they will.
If it wasn't in Green Bay, I would like them to go into Green Bay. I would like them to beat the Packers. Mm-hmm. I'll take them over the Broncos. I'll take them over the Seahawks, the Browns, the Bears, the Lions. That's their schedule in order. Mm-hmm. Oh, their schedule's so tough. Look at it again. Mm-hmm. Look at it now, 2 weeks out, and go, well, that's not quite as difficult as I thought it was.
Yep. Nothing you said is wrong. They're just still the 12th best team in the league for me. And then, at number 11,
I've already forgotten.
It's the Tennessee Titans.
No, the Titans are 12.
Oh, the
Browns are
Titans.
11.
Oh, excuse me. We're at 12 then. Mm-hmm. The Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry did what Derrick Henry does this past week against the Seattle Seahawks.
It's weird how everybody, the last week, everybody was, what's wrong with Tennessee?
Yep.
Nothing. Absolutely not a damn thing is wrong with Tennessee.
Took them a little time to get out the gate, and now the horses are loose.
It's just comical to me how we do this every single freaking year. Mm-hmm. Somebody has a bad showing in week 1 or week 2, and everything you thought about them going into the season just goes out the window. Mm-hmm. The defense is not great. Offensively, they are a headache to stop.
Yes.
And Ryan Tannehill is the same hyper-efficient quarterback he's been for 2 years in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And now they go Colts, Jets, Jaguars. That's a whole lot of acclimation time for Julio Jones to get right in that offense.
It is. And then you've got a tough three-game stretch.
Ugly. Then it gets ugly for an extended period of time.
An extended period of time? I mean, they got Buffalo, Kansas City, and at L.A. They got Indianapolis in the middle of that, and then they go Saints, Houston, New England.
Patriots,
I like them better than all those. I like them better than all those teams.
You undervalue how important it is to be on. A mediocre team is nominally better at home. Mm-hmm. Them going to New England the 3 days after Thanksgiving is going to be a bitch. First of all, it will be 9 degrees because that's what Foxborough does. Mm-hmm. Going to Pittsburgh is going to suck. The 49ers there late in the year, that's not going to be pleasant. Mm-hmm. That schedule's daunting. But
they've got hammer spots. That's the thing about it, is it kind of goes up and down for me. And I mean, it's still 11-6, maybe at the worst. So, yeah, I'm not backing off of them. They were in my preseason top 10, I believe. Yeah, they were at 10 in our first preseason power ranking, and that's exactly where I have them today. They are my 10. You got the Cleveland Browns at 11, which is shocking to me. You've already said you should have them lower than that. Do you want to talk about what's going on in Cleveland?
Baker Mayfield sucks. You're running low on receivers.
Yep.
You're getting ready to see what I've told you about Baker Mayfield because now you don't have any weapons.
Right. You got the Odell.
Right now, be honest with yourself. If you were a good defensive team, tell me right now you wouldn't stack 7 in the box and look at Nick Chubb and go, good fucking luck.
Yep.
And their insistence on using Kareem Hunt is God, makes me angry.
Their insistence? I mean, he's a hell of a running back. Why would they not use him?
He's not in the ballpark of Nick Chubb.
Well, no. I would agree with you on that. But I think the tandem works fine. You think without Kareem Hunt on this team, they would be better? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think Nick Chubb should get a better
chunk of the work?
Yes.
Okay. Now that I'm not going to fight you on because he's a Georgia Bulldog, and I wish him the best in everything he does. The Green Bay Packers at 10. After the embarrassing loss in Week 1, we saw them turn it around and do what they should have done and just manhandle the Detroit Lions in the second half of Monday Night Football last night. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers.
They're going to get 6 cakewalk wins in their division. Mm-hmm. You give Aaron Rodgers a full season to figure it out, that team's going to make the playoffs. You know it as well as I do.
Yep.
Because they're going to win that division in a walk. Mm-hmm. You give Aaron a whole season to figure it out and tell me you want to play them in Green Bay in December. I've heard you're too high on Green Bay. Am I? Am I really? Would you bet your house against it right now? Because I think that's a fool's errand.
I'm higher on them than you are, so I can't say anything. I have them at 7.
That
Just
might
because
be too high.
it's a little too high, but it's still Aaron Rodgers, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's always going to get that with me. He's still, I think, even though I have lived through the entire Tom Brady era, I still think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback I've ever seen.
I would agree with that.
So, he's always going to get the benefit of the doubt. So I have them too high at 7. You have them at 10. At number 9. On the official Week 2 power rankings here in the Sportsocracy. You got the
Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
Any team that can score like that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And the defense is going to improve week after week after week. Micah Parsons is a freak of nature.
Yep. I want to see more. I want to see more from the Dallas Cowboys. They are must-watch TV for me. Every time they are on my television, or can be, they're going to be. I'm going to watch every second of it because I am a huge Tony Pollard fan. I was a fan of seeing him go off this past week, and I think there should be more of that. They should start pedaling back Ezekiel Elliott because I believe his time has gone.
Tony Pollard, by the way, is
Not gone, but you know what I mean.
I would say Tony Pollard is probably the biggest pickup of the week in fantasy football. If he's not, it's Rondale Moore. Tony Pollard's actually over the 50% threshold, so I can't give him.
Yeah.
If he's not owned in your league, he should be.
If you're in a league with me, he is owned. Because if I don't have him, someone else does. Because I've thought this Zeke thing was coming at some point. He's going to take the step back. Tony Pollard's going to step in. He's more electric at this point. I don't necessarily disagree with the best running back in Dallas is Tony Pollard.
I don't either. I really don't.
Dallas is my 11. So we're close on that one. Then you have the Las Vegas Raiders at 8. How did I have the Vegas Raiders higher than you?
I just look, and I've been on the Raiders for I've been telling him the Raiders for a long time.
Yeah.
How in the world could you possibly have them ahead of any of the 7 teams in front of them?
It's because of here's where my hypocrisy comes into play. It's because of who they've beaten.
I don't disagree with that.
It can't be anything other than that. I expected you to come out and be 0-2. No questions asked. You were going to be 0-2 at the beginning of this season. You've come out 2-0, and you've looked like the stronger team against both of them. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens, I did not see that coming. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as I have been on the Pittsburgh Steelers about their wishy-washy offensive line and injuries and all of that, Ben being so old, I still expected the Steelers to win that game. But the Las Vegas Raiders looked like the better team from gun to gun.
So I've gotten you to admit you're wrong on the Raiders.
Yes.
Can I get you to admit you're wrong on Gruden?
On John Gruden?
Yeah. Now we got to go one step further because you've bashed John Gruden for years.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good coach.
He's a very good coach.
He's a good coach.
He's a very good coach.
I don't know that I would have him in the pantheon of the greatest coaches in NFL, but he's up there. Top 10.
He's a very good coach. And people that were talking about, we're going to fire Gruden. No.
Maybe we should do that. Should we do a coaches power ranking?
In the NFL?
Yeah, that sounds like a fun little exercise.
Yeah, because that's exactly what we need. More shit to do.
So you can weave it into the content somehow. No, I mean he's fine. I mean he won me a damn Super Bowl.
Which is why I've always been shocked at how much shit you talk about him.
Well, no, I feel like people talk about him like he's this genius, and I think that's a little overblown. He's a fine coach. He's a great analyst. I still think he's a better analyst than he is a coach, but I also think he's one of the greatest analysts I've ever heard. So, like, if he wanted to give up the job today and he wanted to go do an in-studio Monday Night Football show with Peyton and Eli Manning, I'm in. I think it'd be the greatest show I've ever watched. Anyhow, I was completely wrong about the Las Vegas Raiders, and yes, because of who they've beaten in the first couple of weeks of the season, I have them at 6 on my power rankings. Now, will that come back to the mean? Sure. There's a very real possibility that they cannot keep this pace up because I don't think I see Derek Carr continuing to throw for 408 yards a week.
Somebody asked me, I did a hit on another show good Lord, that was yesterday. I've been awake for way too long. Where would I put the Raiders now?
Yep.
I've added probably a game. I think I had them at 9-8 before the season. I've got them 11-5 now, 11-6 now.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they're going to go 13-4. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're a threat to Kansas City in the division, but they're very, 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 very good.
Okay, so Las Vegas was your 9?
They're my 8.
Or your 8. All right, so we're up to 7.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
They would be higher if their coach was any motherfucking human not named Cliff Kingsbury.
Completely impressed in week 1 with the win over the Titans. Not so much in the 1-point victory against the Minnesota Vikings.
Cliff Kingsbury is just infuriating. Mm-hmm. He makes me want to pull my hair out at the root. And they're going to lose games they're not supposed to. They're the 3 in that division. They are. They're the 3 in that division because you're never going to be able to count on them. Mm-hmm. They're high end. The good of the Cardinals, best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
The bad, missed the playoffs. That's how big of a variance there is when you have a coach like that.
Okay. I don't know if I'm
going to call that the Zach Taylor rule from now on.
I don't know if I see the miss the playoff side of that one, but yeah, I can see where they can sneak in. Yeah, where they can sneak into the playoffs. That's as far as I can go with them. I actually have them 1 spot higher than the San Francisco 49ers.
I don't.
Just because of, I think
San Francisco is just incredibly consistent.
Yes. But it's also borderline mediocrity on offense.
Rob Johnson said Joe Brady to Arizona sounds like a Super Bowl recipe. I think I have heard Joe Brady to every team in the NFL that has a coaching kerfuffle.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I think you're all right.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be interviewed for every job.
Every job.
Yeah.
He will be the hottest coordinator in the league this year.
There's no doubt. Sam Darnold's a big reason for that.
100%.
Look what he just did for Sam Darnold. Imagine what he could turn Kyler Murray into. I get it. Your Baltimore Ravens are at 6. To me, it's a little low. I got them at 5.
You're killed injury-wise. Well, injuries.
Yeah.
At some point, this is going to affect you. You cannot lose this many guys.
Sure.
But you're killed, and you still beat one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you were at home. I get that, but you still deserve credit for it. I have Baltimore at 6.
Yep. At number 5, you've got the San Francisco 49ers. What are your thoughts on that?
So damn consistent. It doesn't matter who runs the ball. It doesn't matter who plays on defense. It doesn't matter who's in the secondary. None of it matters. Mm-hmm. It's this Kyle Shanahan offense of just every team in the league says next man up, and it pisses me off to no end. It actually works in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That is a terrifying team that nobody's going to talk about, and I have this weird feeling come the end of January, you're going to be looking at San Francisco playing Tampa Bay in the NFC title game.
Mm-hmm. It's the last dissension that we have in our power rankings. 4 through 1, all the same. Buffalo Bills at number 4. Why couldn't you put the Buffalo Bills higher on this list? Because that's what I kept going through my mind of, I just can't put the Buffalo Bills ahead of the Los Angeles Rams.
I couldn't either. Because you have a loss.
Yep.
You caught a loss. If the two played on a neutral field, do I necessarily think that the Bills would lose? No.
Mm-mm.
But it's close.
Edge goes to the Rams to me. You've got more star power than the Buffalo Bills do on the defensive side of the ball. I believe in both quarterbacks pretty equally. No, I'll say I believe in Josh Allen a little bit more than I do Matthew Stafford, but I am a believer in defense matters. So I've got the Rams with a little bit of an edge on the Buffalo Bills, and they're going to stay at the top. I'm not sure there's too much that could happen that would that would knock them down this list for me. The Rams are at number 3. It works. This new offense is, I mean, not new offense, but this new quarterback.
Stafford-led offense.
Yes, thank you. This new Matthew Stafford-led offense, it's working, and it's going to continue to work. And you're gonna see how just how good it is this week when they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's game of the week.
Yep.
We'll know more. I mean, whoever wins that game is won next week.
Yes.
I'll save all of the drama. Whoever wins that game is number 1 on this list next week.
Yes. Kansas City Chiefs at number 2. The loss doesn't sway me.
Doesn't me either.
They're still the best team.
Lost on the road to a damn good team, and you were right there with them.
Yep.
The fact that you can't stop anybody just doesn't seem to matter for you.
Yeah, they're still the best team in the AFC to me, and again, not much is going to sway me off of that. Just that's the way the ball bounced for them, and they were on the road in Baltimore. I get it; it's early in the season. Maybe Pat Mahomes didn't make as many plays as you wanted him to, but I don't see how you can be too down on this team. And then, of course, number 1. I knew you'd eventually come around to my side.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I get it. The win over the Atlanta Falcons is nothing to write home about. And, detractors, if you want to look at it from that perspective, the critical eye, the game was closer than you expected it to be for a lot longer than it was, like I told you it was going to be. But then what happened? Matt Ryan happened, and the defense took over. Tampa scores a touchdown, and then Atlanta comes out and tries to make something happen, and bam, the defense smacked you in the face. Mike Edwards with 2 back-to-back interception returns for a touchdown, blew that game wide open. It shouldn't have been that close to begin with. And to me, the Bucs look every bit the playmaking defense that they were last year in the playoffs. Granted, it was against a really shitty team. A lot's going to be proved this week. I'm in full lockstep with you. Whoever wins this matchup, and I'm expecting it to be the Los Angeles Rams, because we got to make that cross-country trip, they will be number 1 in the power rankings next week. Whoever wins.
Yep.
All right, week 3 kicking off here in the NFL. Waiver wire gets. We will talk about it this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Trolling the waiver wire this week for the guys who might be able to change your season. It hasn't been good for me.
There's one, and it's been surprisingly good for me.
Really?
Our Radio Ranch League, I've 2-0 and set my lineup 0 times.
Hot.
Because you play on stupidnfl.com, and I forget that's even a thing.
Yep. Anybody shocked I'm 0-2? No. Nobody's shocked by that. We'll talk about the waiver wire gets for week 3 this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. Look for our team-by-team week 2 recap videos coming out, just looking at the snapshot of the first 2 weeks of the season for all the teams and who's impressed, who hasn't. We got those videos coming out. They started going out this morning here in the Sportsocracy. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll be clued in whenever a new video posts on the stream. And we will see you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in the Wicked Weed studio. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
Have a great day.